Moving into this portion of the discussion video, guys, we actually have the focus of it and being which is better to start off with, red or black base. Now, this is actually more of just probably a felt off opinion, if anything. So the reason I say that is any one person who plays the Digimon card game will find the playstyle they want to go with, and find the cards they like. So this is more of me just throwing out probably my opinion on this. So yeah, if I ruffle anyone's feathers on which I think is better for beginners, obviously, no offense intended, obviously, but more importantly, just my best way of getting people started. Because in my big video that I had before with the GREYMON line, focusing on basically every main part of it, I didn't really dive into all of the black cards of GREYMON, and it's not because I didn't think they're good or anything. It's just more of the video would have been way too long. So yeah, focusing on both because both are very distinct in a way because each utilize very different elements from each of the colors. We do have some overlap, but the red and black cards are that happen to be a part of maybe more of the red gray online. I would say are less about being black red and more just about being good cards. And then the ones that are meant to be focused in the black color that are also dual color with red, they definitely make their stand in being a black card first and then a red color. So those are stuff like the Black War Greymon and then like Black War Greymon X. That line and its accompanying Digimon are definitely meant to focus on the black color and some of its characteristics. Whereas with the red line, they focus more on their aggression, their speed. Those are the key things. So when I'm talking about for beginners, there's a lot of things we have to consider. So when it comes to the Digitamas or the Digi Eggs, there's a lot more Coromons to pick from than there are in black, because in the red color we have the one in front of you, which is the one from BT14. There's obviously the one from BT5. There is the one all the way from the starter deck, the original one. There's also other Coromons like the one from BT9. Basically, there's a lot of Coromons to coincide with going with the Greymon line and the red line, whereas with the ones in the black coloring, we pretty much only really have the one from Structure Deck 16, which is this one in front of you, which happens to be the Redirector Coromon. We also have the one from BT11, which happens to be focused more on redirection and deleting Digimon. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the good Coromons. And my reasoning is like for black, those are pretty much all you've got. And doesn't make it bad, it just means that your playstyle has to focus some way in them. And luckily for the black color, those Coromons definitely do focus and help you hone in on what you need. Now, obviously, moving into the part where I think is which is better for beginners, I'm just gonna have to slate it up to probably being red. And red is basically the better one for beginners for a few reasons. One, I think it's also the most user friendly at the start because with the black lines, you do need to I think you would need to know most of the interactions first because a lot of them focus on like redirection and to an extent also hitting over upon his Digimon. They also are higher cost for their Evos, so you have to kind of adjust to it even with memory boost. So if you're starting out, that's going to be a little bit different because you're going to have to remember some have 4 costs, some of them are like 5 costs. You're going to have to realize you're paying a lot of memory. So maybe some people just want to play something a little bit more memory efficient at the start to kind of get their ball rolling and kind of figure out what they like. So there is that elements. Also, when it comes to the different Digimon available, it's a little bit easier to build the red one and like the red lines because there was just so much more red support. And I think it's a little bit more of a color bias to a degree because it's Greymon's obviously focusing on being a red Digimon first. So but there is a lot of great black Greymon and Agumon support that really do kind of shine on itself. So stuff like the Agumon from the starter deck, the Black Agumon RX anybody from BT11. We even have the Greymon from that starter deck, which is really fantastic. I've also got the Metal Greymon from that set. We also have one of the most underrated, I think, is actually BT8's Metal Greymon, which digivolves and deletes. This card's insane in my opinion. I think it just needs a way to reduce its evo a little bit more. Besides something like Greymon X from BT11, absolutely bomb of a card. And even my corrected Black War Greymon from that's actually the one from the revision pack. But effectively, these Digimon already make core. You also can include GREYMON here if you want. You don't have to, but he kind of slots in on top if you want to play that version of the deck with Black War Greymon. I don't have Black War Greymon X anybody right at the moment, but when I do, it'll obviously show up. Because I think that line and that playstyle is one I really enjoy. Because basically, it's one, protect the castle, but also be very aggressive. So all those cards kind of work together. Because each of the black line Agumon Greymons all actually have very, I would say, tied into effects at some point. Because I do think they really designed the black color well. But like I said, there's a little bit differences with them versus the red ones. I can't. If I was to give this to a new player, they might struggle a bit. That's just the honest truth. If you give a new player probably something like red variant Metal Greymon or Greymon, they wouldn't struggle as much just because the effects are a little bit more intuitive. And it's not as difficult to understand them and what they're trying to accomplish because pretty much going big and swinging at the opponent will never die out, I think. So, like, if we look at something like, where is it here? The BT5 Greymon. This is a Memorial Pack one, but still, point is, it's pretty straightforward. We look at the red Greymon from BT14. I still think that's a good card for Agumon decks, by the way, if people are wondering. That's my opinion on it. I actually think this card's really good because it finally gives another Greymon that actually can kind of help out in the deck. Because I always felt like that deck was severely missing another Greymon because it only had the promo one. Now that it has this one can do stuff. And actually, all the Metal Greymons, like the ones I mentioned in videos before, they pretty much are still intuitive. They make sense. You swing with them, delete stuff. You swing with them, you gain effects. You don't swing with them, you build up, so forth and so on. It really makes them a bit easier to use. And pretty much that's it for that, guys. I'm still sticking with the fact that red base is just a little bit better for beginners. But if I had to pick, to be honest, I like both just as much. I don't think you can skip out on both, because if you're a Greymon player, I would suggest picking up both the black base and the red base and messing around to see what you like more. You can really create some funky builds, but also create some really cool hybrids. So yeah, that's what I've got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed that quick little discussion, maybe a little overview of that. There's also pretty much finished the other video I made with the red base. I showed almost all the red base cards and to show some of the remaining black cards that need to be seen. So that's it for me, guys. And if you like this video, leave a like, comment, obviously subscribe. And this is Brad from the Ed Army signing off. And for all of you out there, to sign on.